Hey, welcome to Monolith Funeral. Monolith Studios shut down just last week. A historic studio, made so many beloved games, including this one, Middle-earth: Shadow of War. I'm Leo Vader. Jacob Geller's here. I'm
Jacob Geller. This is a funeral. Funeral but fun.
Exactly. A classic MinnMax trademark. New Show Plus is voted on every week by our Backstage Pass patrons. This time they wanted us to revisit. I'm not sure what their biggest motivation was. If they want us to play this game, this beloved game that certainly I love to death, or if they want us to talk about Monolith and everything it means to us.
MinnMax kind of does do funerals whenever anyone is laid off from the gaming industry.
It's true. Hanson's signature funeral.
Well, I'm very excited to watch you revisiting this game because we'll talk about it. I loved Shadow of Mordor so much. I had more mixed feelings on this, but hearing your love for it has always kind of made me think I should take another look. And now, what better opportunity than this?
You're looking, baby. Yeah, I fell off it initially as well. It felt a little bloated. It's such a giant version of Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Which had one, eventually two armies, and this, you have what, 5?
Yeah, and they're all constantly being infiltrated and warring and whatever. So yeah, my major complaint playing it was just I don't remember any of these guys. He'd be
totally.
Remember me, Wanderer? And I'd be like, no.
And it's too much to ever learn the names of. Mm-hmm. But now, it doesn't have cloud saves with Steam Deck, so we don't have my recent Steam Deck save. I've been getting back into it, loving it more than ever on Steam Deck. So now we're back in my years-old PC save, where I really am not going to remember any of these people. So we're kind of starting fresh. But I certainly have no interest in doing the story at all. I basically want to interact with this game's Nemesis system that we still hear referenced all the damn time. I'm going to go after Crackhorn.
Crackhorn, Shield Master.
Jimmy Crackhorn. And I do care. Let's go make a death threat on this guy. That's what I like to do in this game. What other Monolith titles mean something to you? They did Fear?
I'm a big fan of Fear. I tried to get Fear up and running the other day and couldn't because the PC version of it is busted in some strange ways that I probably could fix, but just wasn't. I wasn't ready to devote my evening to it. But
right.
I love Fear. Like I said, I love Shadow of Mordor. I'm looking up the other Monolith games. There were others that people were talking about that I was like, oh, that sounds cool, but I have not played. I didn't play No One Lives Forever.
I was wondering about that one. I've heard that one a lot the last few days.
I am a big fan of Condemned Criminal Origins. That's been one that Blake and I have been threatening to do on Something Rotten for a long time, and other things keep getting in the way, but now it seems like, well, again, funeral. What better opportunity?
That's right. I could not capitalize on this guy being dazed from the spiders in time.
Oh, he just disappeared? Oh, there he goes.
There he goes.
Now, I remember with this game, I was playing a weird kind of meta game because it's probably because I played Shadow of Mordor so much. I found this game really easy to start with, and then the skills just make you so much more powerful that I was kind of developing my skill tree, being okay, how am I going to keep this fun without making me completely overpowered?
Yeah.
And I was one of the reasons that I thought the roguelike kind of mode that they added in this seemed cool was oh, is this a way to kind of add more consequence into this game where you just have every superhero power immediately?
It is yeah, I think it is a permadeath mode. I did my famous video essay series, Watch Later. I did one about it forever ago. By the way, I forgot I'm coming back to this old save. I forgot I captured absolutely everybody. So that's why I couldn't stealth kill that guy, because he's my friend. So embarrassing on that one. But yeah, I was also on Steam Deck playing it on a higher difficulty than normal, and that does make it more fun because you have to engage with the Nemesis system. You have to figure out people's weaknesses, which is of course the big
remember if
gimmick.
they like added difficulties post-launch or something, or if I was playing on hard. I don't know. I just think it's like that wonderful Arkham style combat that we all love so much. It is kind of a thing where it's like, hey, if you don't mess up, you won't get hit, and if you play enough, you can just learn how to not mess up.
Right.
And it's an extra problem for this game because it's like the fun comes from failing. Like you really have to die to guys to then see them like do cool stuff.
Exactly.
And I wanted to get that out of it.
Totally. It's like half of what they designed is not just what happens when you win, but what happens when the enemy wins and time passes and this whole society of people progress as the time passes between when you can kind of respawn.
Now, do you think we'll be able to find the Kumail Nanjiani orc in this play session?
I think he's mostly story-based.
Is he? I thought he was just a random guy.
I think he's probably both, but he is pivotal to the story at some point.
Oh gosh, I really don't remember that.
I hate to spoil this game, but he has kind of an iconic betrayal. He kind of teaches you that your captains can betray you. Which I'm just having fun doing the stupid combat. The silly combat. Because only captains ever have a chance of killing you. They have like poison attacks and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there's some that like, I mean, sometimes they really can have a combination of factors where you're like, how am I supposed to get this guy at all? Where it's like immune to close combat and immune to ranged combat. And you're like, okay, the only way I can kill this guy is like tossing him to a bonfire or something, which is a fun challenge to come up against.
Totally. And again, that's the higher difficulty makes you do that, and that's so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, yeah, I could engage with this, or I'll just brute force it. I'll just conk them over and over again. Let's see what we can do with Zugor raiding this enemy captain.
Zugor the Tiny.
Let's see how small Zugor the Tiny is.
If these supplies get taken, it'll be my head. So you lot better make sure that doesn't happen. It's the supplies we wanted. Looks like we gotta scrape some schrock off them first, though.
All your favorite Lord of the Rings words are here.
Schrock.
Schrock. Oh, the intel. Well.
Now what? Oh yeah, he already died. What does getting intel get you?
It tells you their weaknesses. Like you can select somebody and learn everything about them and their, well, we might already know their relationships because people are each other's bodyguards and each other's best friends. They'll avenge each other. That kind of stuff is on the army information board. But I wanted it to send a death threat to the guy I was going after anyway, which just makes them tougher and gives you better rewards when you defeat them.
Is he like scared of something? Is his little outline is purple? I didn't know if that was just because he was your friend.
He might be seeing spiders or executions and being scared of either, but I think the purple is just like the fact he's legendary might be doing that.
Oh, okay. To be fair to Zugor the Tiny, I also get scared by both spiders and witnessing executions.
Yeah. Neither I would consider myself comfortable with. I like to also just test out what might they be afraid of. I don't know what this dude is. He's not afraid of pinning. He's enraged by... Oh, I do poison headshots. So he's enraged by the poison. How about fire? He seems to be fine with getting attacked by a big troll. Ooh. Even like this move, they can have a reaction to. This like ground pound that I'm about to do, and here it comes.
Getting eaten by a dog. Not scared of that.
No, he's vibing with that.
Oh wait, but now he's broken.
He's been broken by something. Oh, whoops.
Oh no, but he's about to break you.
And definitely on the higher difficulties, there's more guys who do not let you do that. Who do not let you do the last stand thing.
Those are the ones that you really start to hate, where you're like losing to them over and over and they don't give you a chance.
Totally.
Or even better, they have the trait where they'll just walk away. They'll leave you in last stand and then they'll just be like, you're not worth the effort, and they'll leave. Feels so cool to get one of those.
That's so awesome. And you can shame them too. You can say you're not worth my time, and it reduces their level. Such fun little ways to play with it like that, and it totally takes center stage. It is not, I do not think about the story very much.
So yeah, what do you want this guy to do?
Let's see. I think I'll command him to go attack the guy I wanted to attack anyway. Wherever he went.
Is that,
oh, it's this guy.
yeah.
And this will boost the guy I'm telling to do it by 9 levels. But it'll create a mission like the one we just did. Where we'll go watch them fight and help the one I want to win.
Mm-hmm.
Which is such an interesting type of systemic mission. You know, games try and do that a lot, the infinite missions.
Yeah.
But it's such a cool way to do it and kind of give everyone a bit of purpose, not just be like filler for XP, be like, this is gonna move the story in a way.
You are deciding what those are. You know, it's not just like someone in Fallout being like, could you get me another 10 sodas? You know, it's like you understand why there's that mission because you're the one who's prompting it.
Right, totally. So I got the death threat off. The other thing that I think rubbed me the wrong way when I first played this was that so much of the game was finding intel guys like that, because there's so many armies, these giant screens full of people that you need to know the weaknesses of. It's like, that's such a cool mechanic, and having to do it constantly robs it of a little bit of its coolness. But I made my peace
but
with
it is fun if you're just feeling confident to fully go in blind and just be like, all right, I'm gonna roll the dice that I'll be able to figure out what this guy is afraid of. But also that makes it much more likely that he'll kill me, which, as we've said, is part of the fun of the game.
That's right. We do love to die, Jacob, don't we?
We love to die. Now, do you like the base assaults in this? Because that becomes kind of in the like last act of the game. It's just kind of like, all right, do 30 of these.
Right.
And it was another thing that kind of, it's like, it's tiring to have to do as many of them as they ask you to do, but also it's another instance where it's like, it's really big, you know, where it's like you're encountering like a dozen named guys on each of those missions in a way that I was, again, kind of just like getting lost in the scale of the game. But it is cool because you can ride a dragon into battle, and who would ever get mad at that?
Right. Definitely, like, there is cool design there, but it is part of the general bad reception this game had that has rippled and has had people keep thinking it's bad, is like all the WB decisions, the publisher decisions, to have the loot boxes in the game that you were kind of pretty pay to win, and something like that, which was this big wall that was not only kind of felt like filler to make the game longer, especially it being at the end, like right before the story's over, and ways to make the game harder to make you, you know, more excited to pay your way through it. But I think we can all agree that WB is to blame for anything we don't like about anything Monolith.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Leo, are you a damn girl in this game?
They added that at some point, that you just change your skin, but if you hear me talk, it's still gonna be Talian's voice. Oh god. They found me the Tark.
And he's reacting to the death threats that you've leveraged against him.
Right. And that axe in his head, I don't think that was me. I think that's a little bit of his own flavor. Okay, I'm gonna summon the Grog that's supposed to make him quite scared. And it's not... I think I don't have enough of the resource that it costs. The blueness.
Oh, you need more blue.
I need more blue. Let's grind it up.
Now, I've talked about this in at least one video that I made, but when I was incredibly into Lord of the Rings as a child, I would just kind of play the thought experiment with myself, where I would think, how many orcs could I kill?
Right.
Because, you know, like Legolas and Aragorn are killing dozens and dozens, and I was like, well, I'm not them, but I could probably take on 2, 3.
They seem pretty,
Killable?
yeah. Brittle. That's what they seem like to me.
It's like even Merry and Pippin, I feel like, managed to get in a couple kills by the end of the trilogy.
Right, and certainly if you played that Lord of the Rings game, they're grunts.
The Return of the King, the like really popular one.
Right. Wow, that is the Lord of the Rings game to me, huh? Even though I'm playing a different one right now.
I wish I had, like, I never got a chance to play that, and people talk about it in such loving ways, and I'm sure I would have been completely obsessed with it as a kid, but I don't think any of my friends had it.
Sad.
Mr. McGreevy in the chat says 0, which I think is probably the correct number of orcs that one of us could kill, but, you know, a boy can dream.
That's right. Oh boy, I really want to send my grog out. And I'm pretty sure it's the blue bar, and it hasn't been working yet. And I'm forgetting, why don't I just check the menu like a smart gamer? Like a wise gamer? Because I haven't gone down this path. You kind of have your skills and you have your little spin-offs of each skill, and I've done a different style playthrough than I did in this old save. This just says you can summon a grog.
Well, what more to ask?
What am I waiting for?
I've been playing Avowed, and in that, grog, one of the most helpful items, because it stops you from being poisoned.
So true, I use it all the time. I love drinking my grog. I'm also forgetting how to heal, because I think it's a lot of times like gear based. Kill in a certain way to get health back.
Do you not just have like an Estus or something? Weren't you like taking like herb cuttings, at least in the first game? You just find like flowers around, and
right,
that
you
would
just
heal
eat
you?
herbs. That are surely marked on the minimap.
They do. You are so fast in this game.
Yeah.
You can just run at like 70 miles an hour.
And triple jump, of course. That's what we all love about Lord of the Rings.
This is also, it's a game that kind of did the direction that I feel like Assassin's Creed then went, which was like, you can run up any building and it's not even something you have to think about. Like, you're just gonna like, you have like a 30-foot vertical dash, or you can just go up anything. There he is.
There he is. I'm not sure what, maybe I held it longer or something. Go get him. Wow, he got the hit. So now he's weak to stealth attacks now that he's been terrified.
And you can just like grab him, right?
Yes. He's essentially my little plaything.
The grabbing and throwing off ledges was always something that I enjoyed doing.
Iconic. Does he deserve to live? My stealth attack froze him. What do we think? Oh!
Death threat honored.
And what a, like, unique take on grinding. The fact that you can do a death threat that gets you better loot. It's a specific path of yours for grinding for loot. That doesn't feel like, let me go hit this monster a bunch of times. No offense, Monster Hunter. Are you playing that?
Oh yeah, I played far too much of it.
Loving it?
I would be playing it right now if we weren't on stream. It makes a bad first impression, but then the more you play it, like when you get past the story quests and you can just decide, much like this game, when you can decide what things you want to do and what routes you want to take to accomplish them, then it's just candy.
Yeah, right on. I do love my candy.
I do love the idea of a Lord of the Rings game where one of the mechanics is finding further and more powerful rings to level up with. It's like, Lord of the Rings, the thing where they all definitely wanted the most powerful ring, and it was a good thing to have it. This is a good suggestion. Mr. McGreevy says, can you die to a random grunt orc and help them move up the ranks?
Without ever branding them and making them my own?
Yeah, just be like, they get a promotion because they killed you.
I love that. I love that idea. Let's go do that. It like gives them a personality in real time.
Yes, yeah, it does.
Okay, we're gonna have to dismiss this Grog. I feel like he's gonna be coming to my aid.
An interesting commentary on, like, do the workers just not have a personality until they achieve something great?
Wow. Till history has a reason to remember them.
One of the many things that the... Oh... Wait, did he just get friendly fired by that spear? Yeah. I thought it was your friend. That's funny. One of the many things that the trilogy of movies is so good at is...
Oh, come on! No, I'm doing a thing here!
My gosh, a Mortal Kombat character? He made him drink poison.
Pug Deathbone! Alright.
Jeez.
I guess it wasn't meant to be that guy.
Ready to die?
Oh, another chance? Or is he...
There we go.
Congrats, man. Tars.
Warriors who thought, I'm gonna go and challenge Tars. Yeah, give him all me best.
I love that. He did have a unique face, even though he was a regular orc, and now he gets unique armor, and his spear thing becomes his like iconic signature weapon. And he's Tars the Friendly. That's nice. Okay. Let's go make some sacrifices.
We had heard, or I guess it was just kind of rumored, that the that Monolith was working on this Wonder Woman game that would feature the Nemesis system in some way. But part of what, other than it just being patented, part of the challenge of importing the Nemesis system to other games to me seemed it's like, well, it's just kind of made for orcs in Mordor, because you just have to have like a million faceless, meaningless guys who can all take on like random personalities.
Yes.
And it's like, it's hard to think how you would do that in... I'm sure they had great ideas for the Wonder Woman game, and God, I wish that they would not be buried under, WB legalese forever. But like, it's weird to think of Wonder Woman, I don't know, getting killed by a random grunt and then coming back. And so I'm curious how they would adjust that for a different thing.
You canonically come back to life each time is pretty crucial to it in a way I think people don't give her credit for. Yeah, that's such a good point. And yet, not my problem. Just do it.
Just do it.
And I'm open to it not being built around it in a way that narratively makes sense. I mean, wake up at the hospital, I don't care. But
because she could Go ahead.
Yours is more relevant to what's going on.
No, I was just gonna say she could lasso them and like make them tell the truth, and then probably like sway people to her side that way.
That's awesome. That's such a good idea. The lasso of truth for interrogations, of course. And then it's not as dark because they just give it up. You don't have to like truly take their whole sense of self the way you do in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, this game came out in 2017, and it's the last thing on their Wikipedia games released. Isn't that sad?
Man, that's tough.
They're working on Wonder Woman forever.
I remember, and this was something where I don't know if this was actually true, but I think there were some elements of this game being so big that, you know, lost things that I liked in Mordor. One of them that I remember was Shadow of Mordor had incredible blood tech in a way that I had not seen in previous games, where you could you would have like execution scenes where the orc would have a head wound and you would like see the blood like running down their face in a way that I'm still like impressed by, and I don't think that's in this game, and it always made me a little sad. It was just one of those like, oh my god, I've never seen blood run down someone's face before.
Yeah.
In a video game. Or in real life, I guess. I'm lucky.
Good save. And Wonder Woman would have been doing it constantly.
Wait, so why are you injuring your own guy intentionally to help Tars ascend?
To boost Tars, who's already pretty high level.
Yeah, and your guy is, quote, soft-headed, so he's extra vulnerable to headshots.
I just picked this guy because he was the guy who just saved my life, and so I'm punishing him for that because he didn't respect my plan. But it's so perfect that he's soft-headed. There's like no better way to make him useless in this fight than just a couple cheap headshots. And now this is my chance to save him, which I shan't be doing. Y'all see me? Yeah, and things like I did think about that when we all said, gosh, they should have the Nemesis system and everything. What would that be like? It's also crucial that there's so many things they can fear in this. And it's hard to imagine replicating that without like supernatural type elements. If there's just beehives all around Gotham or something. Like how do you have more fears than just fears of getting punched, fears of getting whipped with the lasso?
Yeah, I mean, it is, you know, maybe we are being too restrictive in how we think about it. You know, partially because it's called the Nemesis system. We're like, okay, well, it should be about guys that you kill or kill you. But what if you had, you know, Grand Theft Auto, you see a pedestrian get run over by a car and you get out and help him, and then that pedestrian like becomes someone. Or the guy you carjack runs to the police station and like opens an investigation against you. You know, it does seem like there are ways that you could just have NPCs react to the things that the player is doing without them needing to be orcs. But the orcs are just kind of perfect.
They really are. And how messed up that I still get loot from having my guy die. Farming my own men. Oh, I got it already. Was it good? Was it worth it? No. Nope. Sorry to that orc. I could let him kill me just again, and I'm sure his level will go up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens for him when he kills me again. And I want to hear more of his friendly voice lines. But he kind of knows I'm around already. Oh, there we go.
We don't have to fight. What say we
This is a good protagonist.
We'll talk this out like friends. No. Why not? Why can't we be friends?
I was open to it.
Hit him in the gaps like
Okay, I've got to make sure it's you.
Oh, he's dual wielding crossbows.
Yeah, that's a glow up from when I last knew you. Tars.
Now it's hard because you don't want to be killed by. Oh, you might be killed by a different guy.
No. Let Tars do it. I do feel like this game is such the peak of this Batman-style combat. I don't know that it
Yeah,
ever
well-
felt better than this, love it or hate it.
My favorite was always, like, this is a really crowd control focused game.
Yeah.
And I did like, you know, I think Arkham Knight was kind of the pinnacle of just like giving you a bunch of jeez.
Wow.
Right.
Even I'm starting to get tired of this.
Oh, and I forgot about the music. It's just chanting.
The
Tars,
chanting.
Tars,
For all these
Tars.
names.
But yeah, this certainly has like it gives you so many ways of dealing with enormous groups of people.
Totally.
Now, can you? I guess you've already got a friendly guy on top of the thing. Can we get like Tars to kill them?
I could command him to try and kill Tars. No, I can't. I
Yeah,
can't get him
and
up
then-
there. Let's see. There's got to be some way. Got to create an opening, and then I think if he kills me, he'll automatically fill it. But if I own the guy above him, maybe he won't. But there is a lot of like genuinely systemic surprises like that of people betraying each other and orcs. Your friendly orcs betraying you, like the ones that are supposed to be your friends, they can always surprise you.
Yeah. What was best for me was always like about to be killed on some like rooftop somewhere, and then the orc that's about to kill you gets shot by like from 70 feet away, and it zooms to like an archer ally that you made hours ago, and just be like, oh my god, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, you just move them.
Yep. That'll do it. Okay, stand down. I can only have him swap with other allies, unfortunately.
I mean, can you just kill him? Like, are you able to kill your own guys?
Yeah, normally when you go over a guy, it shows where they are on the map. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing that. Everybody's just awaiting command.
Well, is it because he's part of the fortress that maybe he doesn't come out until there would be like a fortress invasion?
Yes, they definitely do there, but I also do think they wander around the fortress.
Orcs are abominations.
But I've forgotten more than I thought was possible after just putting this game down for a couple months, so. So what do I know?
Now, Leo, did you ever play Fear or Condemned or any others?
I was huge into Condemned. So scared. My friend made fun of me for years for how scared I got at the mannequin sequence.
Oh, terrifying.
So terrifying. And the Condemned 2 Bloodshot was a Leo favorite.
I never finished Condemned 2 because I was too scared playing it.
Really?
It's kind of a white whale for me where I like, now I think I could return to it and I would probably be fine, but I really got by that game.
You might want to plug your ear.
It's hard to return to. That one never made it to PC.
No, I know. I would have to, emulate it or something.
Bummer.
There was even though I didn't finish it, there's a scene in Condemned 2 where the game fully organically did the mirror jump scare to me, where like it was all in gameplay, it wasn't a cutscene, but the game had functioning mirrors, and I like looked at a mirror There wasn't anything there. I looked down, and when I looked back up, there was a guy in it. And it was like all in gameplay, and it was the most impressed and scared that I had been by like a horror bit.
That's
Like,
incredible.
how did you even know? How did you know I was gonna look down and then back up?
Yeah, I feel like the tricks like that, if like, you know, there's something kind of like that in Alan Wake 2. Mm-hmm. And anything like that just won't hit as hard in, you know, same as an effect in a movie where it's like, yeah, they can do anything now. Back then it's like, there's a real sense of, I thought you couldn't do this and you can, and that's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. But the Condemned isn't like a sneakily interesting early 360 game where you kind of like, you know, you see clips of it and it's like, okay, this is just kind of a janky first-person melee combat. But then you play it and you're doing all sorts of CSI style investigations, and it like has a really creative way of kind of not having a HUD and all this stuff that's like more thought out and interesting than it needs to be.
For sure, like combos in your melee combat too. Like I remember it being a really big step forward for first-person combat, especially first-person like hand-to-hand combat. Mm-hmm. That felt so fresh. God, I've been trying to go back to that forever.
Well, maybe we'll loop you in on a Something Rotten episode.
Oh, please do.
Oh, he's mad because you destroyed all the grog?
Yeah. He loves his grog. I'm gonna go get some intel on this fool. I'm doing a side mission that is also generated in a different way. This is a real player got killed by this orc in their game, and I'm avenging them, and they'll get like a notification that I avenged them. Hit him with the non-lethal range, zoop over. Brand him. Check out Borgu. Already know about
Let's
Borgu.
go brand
afraid
him.
of the curse. Borgu's afraid of the curse. How do I curse him? Hit by a curse weapon. This guy seems strong. No fire. Damage by stealth attacks. Can always try to do that. And just get some random guy, because that whole spread is this whatever player I'm in their game. It's their orcs.
Gosh, I forgot about that. Another interesting kind of asynchronous multiplayer.
Yeah, interesting way to do infinite content. Nazu the Shy! Oh my gosh! That would be me. That would be my orc name. What would your orc subtitle be?
Leo the Bashful. Oh my god, I forgot you could do like a Batman style beatdown.
Yeah, that's a choice that you make in the skill tree. You can have a bunch of different things happen when you get someone down like that.
What would my name? I feel like I would be like Geller the Verbose or something. It would be one where you meet him, and I think there are a couple of these in the game where they just like keep talking.
Yeah.
You know, where you meet them and their intro monologue is like paragraphs long.
Yes, Geller the Chatty Cathy. It's so not worth it, but I want to get really lucky and find another captain that has cursed attacks and brainwash him and then have him fight this guy.
Well, wait, what is it? Tribe bonus Dark Strikes. Is Dark the same as Cursed?
No. I checked excitedly as well. Shout out what your orc subtitle would be.
Remember, it's the street you grew up on and the name of your first pet. And
what everyone...
The most violent crime you've ever considered doing.
Yeah, and in your darkest moments, what you feel. Which, shouts out to Tars for being friendly.
In my darkest moments, I am fundamentally a friendly guy.
We'll get the grog here. Hit him with the sneak attack, which hit the frost because of my special gear. Also poisoned from something else I got going on, so he's just standing there vomiting right now. Krog's got everybody.
Something that I really I really appreciate that stealth is a big part of this game, but it's so aggressive that like you never need to like crouch. You know, that you're just sprinting up to people before they turn around and doing a stealth kill on them.
Totally. It's so forgiving. And it has to be because it's like, it's not like you're clearing a base out. There's always 200 more people than you can deal with.
Right.
I like to brand the archers so that they shoot the guys for me. Oh, but that made him betray me. I mean, it made him get enraged. That was pretty good. Okay, one more.
It is really kind of. I had never thought about just how many pieces of Arkham there are in this, because not only is there the combat, but the kind of like predator stealth system where you are like in control and above everyone all the time, and even. You know, there's that famous Mr. Freeze boss fight where you have to do like 12 different kind of stealth takedowns. And that's kind of how you have to fight the orcs sometimes. Is like, okay, poison doesn't work anymore. Now I need to do fire. Now I need to do stealth attacks.
Yeah. You're kind of Middle-earth's greatest detective.
This is what passes as detective ship in Middle-earth. Just casual slaughter.
Well, I hope that player's happy that I avenged them. This was fun when it first came out, like, those were your actual friends. Like, it populates them with your Steam friends if it can.
Oh, that's fun.
And that's fun to then say, oh, hey, I met that orc you were dealing with.
What happens to the chosen when they die?
Good question. So you are a fearhead.
I do. I haven't played any of the sequels, but it is. I mean, it's what everyone says. It's just a great, crunchy, slow-mo shooting game, you know, and kind of there is, you know, there's a story, and they'll do some fun, interesting, scary things, but fundamentally, it's just like. It's just a game about shooting, and it does shooting very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was, like, the big pitch? What was so new about it when it came out? Because it was, like, groundbreaking technically, right?
Well, so the thing that everyone talks about always is the AI, which is... The AI is very smart, but also it does the thing of... announcing everything they're doing and sometimes even making them sound smarter than they are. So guys will just yell out like, I'm flanking him, even if they're not actually flanking you, but you feel like, oh my gosh, they're like coordinating with each other. They're doing all of this. But they do, I mean, the enemies move in very interesting and kind of dynamic feeling ways. And then you can slow down time and kind of blow everything in all the rooms to bits, and so they're just like very exciting gunfights.
Yeah.
And there's a creepy girl with long hair who scares you eventually.
That was a good one. Yeah, little girls could be quite scary, Jacob.
I've often said this. Have you ever played one of my games that I like think about a lot for how probably mediocre it is Black, that shooting game for like the original Xbox, I think.
Yeah.
2006. I guess it was on 360. But it was, I think it had very memorable print advertisements in Game Informer, and because I never played it, then it just like stuck in my head. And for whatever reason, I always parallel Fear and Black.
Blackest Night. something to be quite afraid of.
Right back to Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll pay for this. I'll kill you next.
Hey,
Oh,
Tars
no.
is here.
But he's retreating.
He's retreating, but he's got no health. Nobody kill Tars. Ready to be cool. No!
Oh. Wow. Tars the not so friendly.
Wow, Flog's getting burned.
Oh, everyone's getting killed.
This, I think, was DLC stuff. These other tribes of captains. Which I believe they'll just, like, move in. Let's find out. I don't know that I've done this much. But it seems like it's a tribe of captains with specific abilities within their niche. These ones being the outlaws. And they're wiping the old guard out like it's nothing.
This is crazy to just watch a kind of entire group of orcs just be wiped off the map.
Yeah.
The outlaw tribe.
And who are you, sir? Koth Corpse Licker? I think you're gonna be a problem. That's the sense I'm getting. This is always weird. This is how you get to the army screen, is you hold right trigger and it like moves the cursor over to the castle. Always something a little strange about that.
So who's that giant guy sitting in front? Is he just an orc that you haven't taken on? Because everyone else you've converted.
Just about. But Arceus, I don't know if it's something about his personality that he takes a knee like that. Or if it's because he's so epic. He's totally fire-based, but terrified of burning.
That seems like a bad combo for him.
Yes, it does.
Sees his own weapon, gets scared.
I love that. People complain sometimes about random procedural generation giving you characters like that that are, you know, don't make sense, supposedly. Like State of Decay 2, you can have a lot of like characters that have this one thing that makes them less stressed out and this other thing that makes them more stressed out, and in effect, they have nothing.
Uh-huh.
But I think that makes a good deep character. You know, people are complicated.
Yeah, and also, orcs are, like, stupid and random. It makes sense that he would have a flaming torch and be scared of fire. He's an orc.
Yeah, and it's like, was he scared of fire first and he's, like, overcompensating? It makes you ask all these interesting questions that really build a life.
I think I was gonna say this a while ago, but what's so great about the original trilogy? Oh my goodness!
That guy just jumped to his death instead of facing me. Terrifying.
Is that Peter Jackson could just kind of show you an orc for like 10 seconds and give it just enough personality that you'd be like, this one is a little different from the other ones, and then they would get killed and you'd be like, yeah. Most notably that pink wrinkly faced guy in Return of the King, who you just see like dodge death a couple times, and so then when he finally gets killed, it's incredibly satisfying.
That's an art. The raid 2, the like kind of the main fight at the end, that character and the main character pretty much only like glare at each other twice. Like they don't really know each other or interact. They just like kind of sense throughout the movie that a fight is coming, and they both know
they learn
how
each
hard it
other
would be.
through fighting.
Yeah. Incredible movie.
Well, you gotta kill his blast O-logs.
I gotta kill Arceus the Blast's regular O-logs.
Excuse me. They're not blast O-logs, they're blast O-logs.
Thank God. Get it up, get up here. Yeah, see, they're not even, that's how forgiving the stealth is. That guy's just investigating.
It's like when a guy finds his partner knocked out in Metal Gear Solid, but he's finding his partner decapitated, and he's like, I guess there's nothing to see here.
And maybe that is just how brittle they are. A bird could have hit him and knocked his head off.
Pop their head off. That's why I thought I could kill so many when I was a child.
That's right. Let's see how many Ologs I can kill. They're kind of hard to kill. Okay, that was that one.
I do like how they fully ragdoll when they die and just seem to suddenly weigh nothing.
Yep.
Oh man, the coolest thing is that when you counter multiple times, your like ghost self comes out to do the other counter.
Yes. Oh shit, did I just dismiss it? Whoopsie. Yeah, that's one of the coolest things ever.
It is. This is a very, you know, sometimes in games it's not good for characterization to just make everything you do seem like animated as cool as possible.
Right.
But this is a game that clearly did that, and I have no complaints. Where I'm just like, yeah, every move should look like the most badass anyone has ever looked.
Yeah, because you never slow down. You're just constantly flowing between cool cool stuff. Remember how Shelob's a hot girl in this?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Which was apparently a directive from WB, maybe?
Yeah. I forget if we just learned that recently. But it was confirmed to be in order that if there was a woman in the game, they had to be young and hot.
Which is kind of like what they did with Grendel's mom and Beowulf, like the original story. So that's okay, maybe? It's kind of classic literature. Actually, I can't remember if the original Beowulf had a hot Grendel's mom or if it was just Angelina Jolie in the movie.
So there's precedent. So he's just afraid because my grog's here. He's just started out afraid the second he got here because I have this grog. Or no, I summoned the grog with the meat. That's awesome. Look at this poor fool. I want to see him set himself on fire and get scared. That's what I want to see. I just think, when I think about it being a directive from WB to make the women young and hot, like, so many developers at Monolith had to do interviews and, like, justify it. Like, well, it's just a direction for the character. It's just what the story we wanted to tell for Sheila. Or whatever they had to say. And what a moral wound that must have been.
I mean, and we've heard, in contrast to the supposed narrative that there are consultants that are making developers make every game woke. In like the past 3 weeks, you know, Ben did that interview with the Ready at Dawn guy who was like, yeah, we had an amazing action game and they just fully canned it because they did not like that a woman was like the lead of the game. And we made them make Shelob young and hot.
Yeah.
So these guys should be thrilled. Everyone's on their side.
Such a good point. It's crazy that this game is about, like, branding these orcs and brainwashing them, because that is what WB wishes they could just do to their staff.
That's right. And they're consumers. Buy more microtransactions.
Yeah, command. I don't think this poor fool's gonna make it. Look at that. We love ragdolls, folks. That poor guy.
I don't think he even got like a single attack off. Although he might when he dies.
He showed up. He said, "Is somebody killing my friends, the Ologs? Oh my god, a grog!" And stood frozen in fear until a grog killed him. But that's a story. You know?
That's a story.
That's narrative.
Now, can you... What are the other... Remind me what the other maps are? Can you go to the world map? I don't know how far you are in this particular save.
Neither do I. Let's see, we got Gorgoroth, which is the Volcano one. Of course, you got the final one that the Witch King's at. Minas Morgul. Got Kirith Ungol, iconic. Douche Flesh Lump is currently presiding over Tharband for me.
United States of America? Sorry.
Oh my god. Oh my god. He said it, okay? Yeah, they give you like 3 at once and then you can kind of go to whichever one you choose. But I don't think they're that different. They're desert or ice or redness. Which, yeah, that was the initial, like, feeling a little too bloated, like, versus having one like the first game did.
It is a challenge because it's like, well, what does Mordor look like? I don't know, like a nasty desert. And so having like 6 different regions, and they do a good job of making them feel distinct, but it is hard because it's like, well, the character of Mordor should be just kind of like nasty blasted plains.
Yeah. And yeah, I forgot, there definitely is like...
For the slaughter. Excellent. Join your brothers in death.
differences in the types of orcs that spawn that are world specific.
Oh, really? I forgot about that.
Which is cool.
Wow, this guy's got a whole squadron of beasties.
Yeah. So yeah, without the intel, you get just what makes them strong and not their weaknesses. Becomes enraged after encountering a stronger enemy. That's interesting. It really does feel like they found as many as possible.
Mm-hmm.
As many little character details as possible.
And it was so exciting when you would kind of have, even just be witnessing, like 2 orcs are fighting, and one is much higher level, but the other one just happens to have, you know, a poison weapon and they're weak to poison, and suddenly there's this huge kind of upset in the hierarchy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna power through and kill this guy.
Tear 'em apart. The blood. Show me who's worthy.
Now, can you do anything with your full blue bar? I guess you could summon a creature, but where does like the power to do your kind of big area of effect blast come from?
Such a good question. I do not remember. And I've been pressing the input that I thought it was.
Is
So it might just be
maybe
might.
based on like a combo? Okay, because
That top bar, I think, is what it is. Uh-oh.
Nice. I was like, nice of all those guys to stop and let you do it.
Yeah.
Oh, and he got scared.
Okay, need to get you out of the picture. Oops. Oops. I'm out of my precious elf shot. Which is what I mainly use to kill Caragors, such as yourself. Oh my god.
A really knockdown, drag out fight here.
Yeah. Should I just try and finish this guy? Instead of making him my own? Oh!
I think you should just try and get out of here alive.
I'll end you.
Death is temporary.
Kill him, not seize him.
Oh, but I do think you should try and kill him.
Oh, okay. Well, he already lost sight of me for a second. I'd be hitting him with this more. With my freezing fist.
It's amazing how good these Caragors are at just interrupting you. Now, what does purified mean? Does it mean he died?
Great question. I don't know if it has something to do with the way I killed him, which was with my big freezing power fist. Oops. I don't feel at all safe. But what happens if this guy kills me anyway? Does just nothing happen?
I think he should get promoted.
Yeah. Or some orc will choose him as their pet.
Oh, the camera loses its mind.
Karagor.
Move him up the ranks.
Cowards.
Wow, that's cool though. A completely unknown tree that you've got here.
Yeah, that is fun getting to a new place and having the intel really matter again. Taking over bit by bit. Ooh, rain desert.
That's cool.
Is that our moon? I never really think about that.
That looks like our moon.
Oh, the Karagor's still here.
Oh no! And he's more confident! They gave him a personality!
I wish it just started talking to me.
Ranger!
Do you have any orcs you still remember?
I was just thinking that there was one guy who had, I feel like his subtitle was like The Wall or something, and he had like a great shield, and I remember him being invulnerable to basically everything. I don't know how many encounters I truly had with him, but it was enough, and he was just like an imposing enough figure. And I'm trying to think if I ever had any, because like very, very rarely you will have someone who has basically stapled their head back on come up, you know, where it's like they can return from the dead. And usually it's okay if they burn to death or they were just kind of sliced up by you, because decapitation, they're not likely to come back from. Mm-hmm. But they can, and it is then part of their character that their head has been reattached.
I love that so much. That happened to one of the characters I remember from Shadow of Mordor, who was like something the old, and I remember he'd always yell "young man" at me from across the map, and I kept finding him until he had it. Yeah, maybe not head reattached, but head fully wrapped in bandages, like could barely see out of.
And then, yeah, sometimes they would, I think if they came back enough times, they would just go insane. Like, I remember there was one that used to talk to me at the beginning, and then on, like, my 5th or 6th encounter with him, saw me and just kind of, like, howled. Like, he was, like, did not have the ability to speak anymore. And I found it, like, very disturbing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who's going for the... Someone's going for the alarm, and they're gonna get it. And good for them. Uh-oh, he's enraged.
So I can satisfy my hunger.
Oh, but he's scared of being pinned.
Can you blame him?
I also don't want to be pinned.
You fight for me. I'm gonna pin you again. That's a pretty tough one for you.
Yeah. This is not a good thing to have a fear of.
There he goes.
Oh, enraged by burning and yet burned to death. How ironic.
Wow, the thing he's enraged at the most. Shouts out Monolith. Gosh, it sucks to have a studio get taken to make a superhero game and then to have it not even come out after years and have their studio die instead. That's kind of a bunch of bad things, if you ask me.
That's kind of like the number one thing you don't want to happen to you when you work in the video game industry.
Right, and when you're doing a superhero thing, you're like, okay, maybe this saves us from this happening to us, but it's kind of seeming more and more like it doesn't, especially with Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
People who brought that to life getting fired.
So other games or other developers just make stuff with the Nemesis system. We'll all get really mad if you get sued for it. We won't be able to like do anything, but come on.
Can we have Haley be like leading the charge?
Yeah, can Haley be cool for a second and let other games do the Nemesis system?
I mean, can she just promise to defend companies pro bono if they get in trouble for using it?
Yeah, I think she would agree to that. She
Okay.
seems to have like free time. She doesn't do like a lot of things in addition to being a lawyer.
No. I'm gonna go ahead and promise that on her behalf. So go ahead and hit her up, Voyeur Law, Haley McLean. And thanks for watching, everybody. If this show gets another episode, we'll play another game from Monolith's historic catalog. How many studios have like as many hits where there is something technical that it achieved that's talked about for years?
That's what I've been thinking. It's like the Fear in AI still talked about. The Nemesis system still talked about. The hand-to-hand combat in Condemned 2. Leo and I are still talking about
That's right. We'll keep it alive. Yeah. Impressive stuff. R.I.P. Monolith. Thank you for your service. Shadow of War runs great on Steam Deck. Check it out, everybody. Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Every week, we let Patreon supporters choose which new show we create with New Show Plus. Should we create another episode of the show you just watched? Check out the biggest new game release? Get into Sea of Thieves? Create an exercise show? It is your call. So thanks to everybody who subscribes on YouTube or supports us over on Patreon. MinnMax exists because of you. As always, if you enjoy MinnMax content, any help telling a friend is appreciated.